You already know what it is, man. We here at Therapy Hub. We're back with another live. Shout out D2E. Shout out my boy Rastafari Samurai. He's not here today, but he will be back. I even tried to get him on a link where, so if he's watching, um, he can definitely tap in and I'll send him the link if I can do it uh, on time and he can jump into it, to our conversations today. Shout out Ray Stream, you know what I'm saying, at the top right hand corner there. Raystream is doing big things, and they got live streaming. So if anybody wants or interested in doing live streaming, you should check them out, man. That's free advertising for Raystream because you already know they be locking in, and they be helping us with our content on some real shit. But if you're tapping in right now to AMP TV, we got a few topics today. Actually, there's a couple topics, but we're going to go over a few things that I discussed in our last episode, and in regards to the Daily Reader from John Maxwell. But for the most part, I wanted to get into. It's going to be this is the main topic probably throughout the whole stream today, and that's the Minnesota shooting that happened with the ICE officers there with the lady that was murdered. And it's just unfortunate that things like this are happening, and you know and it's all because of one simple, or sorry, not one simple, one stupid law, that's trying to kind of like categorize everybody, and and putting everybody in the same position, versus people that are actually, that they are actually trying to target, or people that they say that they're trying to target, but they're going at people that are in the communities, and they're going at hardworking people, individuals, and they're still like harassing them and asking them, for their ID, and they're going to their workplaces and things like of that nature. And I just feel that it's just a little bit uncalled for, and it's a little bit too much. And there should be better training. We did an episode before on Toronto police cruiser running over a young lady, and the video showed that the officer was kind of like in a traumatic. He was in a shock. He was in a he was in a shock, and what he did was he hopped in the vehicle, or he hopped out of the vehicle without putting his vehicle into park, and the car was still in drive or neutral or whatever it was in, and it ran over a lady who they were trying to restrain, and also another officer of theirs. So my whole point that I'm trying to make is that a lot of this stuff that's going on is really like it's uncalled for, and if you see that, and when you see it, it looks like it's like very unprofessional, and some of the police, some of the things that are some of the interactions that the police are having with the public are not really positive interactions. Like I know for myself, I have PTSD, and I have certain traumatic situations when it comes to police. So when I see them, my energy kind of changes. It's never a great positive energy when I see them. I'm always on point, and I'm always trying to I just try to talk to them politely. That way I don't get into any problems with them. But if they do anything out of content, or anything out of my right, I am gonna, say something about it. And I feel like anybody should. And I want to just say, I'm proud of the people out there in America right now that, and the people in the community that are standing up to these agents, these federal agents that are coming in to the communities. Like there's people in the community, people in the community, like white folks in the community that are in the community, and they're like telling them to get out, like get out of our neighborhood. Like they don't want them there. So even people that are from, there, and that possibly could even have voted for Trump, do not like what the ICE police agents are doing. Um, and we're gonna get into a video from the Minnesota mayor, or the mayor of Minnesota, and he says something very, very unique but very straightforward, and that's the way. I think if I was in his position, I would have worded it exactly the way he did. And what he did was he told the ICE to get the fuck out of the city. All right, told him get the fuck out of the city because, for the most part, get the f out of excuse my language, get the f out of the city. For the most part, because for the most part, they're not there doing any good. They're not there doing anything good. They're there causing havoc. They're there, shooting and killing people, and they're just doing the most. And they're being aggressive, and they're being very verbally abusive, and they're just being physically abusive, and they're not doing what police are supposed to be doing. Okay, and we're gonna get into the video from the mayor of Minnesota, and if y'all tapping in, if anybody's in my live or on my live right now, on Instagram or on YouTube, please comment, and even if you want to come in and discuss this topic, I'll be more than happy to hear your opinions. All right, but we're gonna get into this video here. This is the mayor of Minnesota, and this is what he has
collectively
to say.
Are going to do everything possible to get to the bottom of this, to get justice, and to make sure that there is an investigation that is conducted in full. But what we do know is that a 37-year-old woman is dead, and that she was shot by ICE.
The mayor of Minnesota.
We've dreaded this moment since the early stages of this ICE presence in Minneapolis. Not only is this a concern that we've had internally, we've been talking about it. They are not here to cause safety in this city. What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people. So they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. As soon as it happened and we learned of the incident, we had several priorities. The first, of course, was to get the victim to the hospital and to get care as soon as possible. To the family, I'm so deeply sorry. There's nothing that I can say right now that's going to make you or your relatives or the friends of the victim feel any better. There were, I believe, 2 Minneapolis police officers that responded and were in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. The second was to get ICE off of the scene. There were dozens, if not hundreds, of ICE and federal officers that were there at the time. Having them there was only causing more chaos. Having them there was only making a difficult situation even more problematic, and one that, yes, they created themselves. There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave. It's on you to make sure that further damage further loss of life and injury is not done. We're going to be working towards justice as quickly as we possibly can right now, and justice is what we've all got to get. Next, a message to our community. Look, we all know that the agenda of this Trump administration is to create chaos. Let us respond right now with our best versions of self. This is a moment where all of us in Minneapolis and beyond, we can rise to the occasion. We can show them who we are. We can show them the kind of courage, bravery, love, and compassion that makes Minneapolis, Minneapolis, and that makes America, America. We are better than a bunch of ICE agents being deployed to cities around the country and ripping apart families and communities. We're better than that. And so we are going to meet that hate with love. We are going to meet that despair with hope. We are going to meet that injustice with constitutional justice ourselves. And we're going to make sure that in this very difficult moment, we do not take the bait that these ICE agents are trying to create and that the federal government, to be clear, wants. They want us to respond in a way that creates a military occupation in our city. They want an excuse to come in and show the kind of force that will create more chaos and more despair. Let's not let them. Let's rise to this occasion. Let's show them something far more beautiful than the kind of division that they're trying to stoke. Let's show them unity of purpose, of love, and the courage of our conviction. Our conviction, to be clear, is rock solid, and it is for our neighbors, all of our neighbors. It's for people who have lived here for 80 years. It is for new immigrants who have made this city a better place. That's the kind of love that we're going to show up with right now. If you're angry, I get it. I am too. If you're feeling that kind of despair, it's understandable. Let's show them who we can be. Let's show up with peace. To march, to protest, to hug one another, to love all the way with peace. Do not give them what they want. Finally, we've got a lot of work that needs to happen right now to make sure that, first, of course, the scene was secured as much as possible, that we were able to get the victim, now deceased, to the hospital. We've got a lot of work to do in the coming days. I want to thank our city enterprise for the work that they have done, but more importantly, what they're about to do, because this is going to be heavy and our city has been through a lot. We also know that we're prepared to do right for people. Among them is our chief of police. And I'll invite him up.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N-O''H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. This morning, Minneapolis police officers received a report of federal law enforcement being involved in a deadly force incident, meaning shots had been fired. Minneapolis police officers responded to the scene. We arrived and found a woman with a gunshot wound to the head. Life-saving measures were performed at the scene, including CPR. The woman was transported to Hennepin County Medical Center, where she has since been pronounced deceased. The preliminary information that we have indicates that this woman was in her vehicle and was blocking the roadway on Portland Avenue, midway between 33rd Street and 34th Street in the city. At some point, a federal law enforcement officer approached her on foot, and the vehicle began to drive off. At least 2 shots were fired. The vehicle then crashed on the side of the roadway. Minneapolis police officers secured the crime scene and assisted in trying to preserve the evidence that is there. We have since turned over the scene both to the Federal Bureau of Investigation as well as the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, which will be conducting an investigation into this use of deadly force. I want to thank the mayor, city council president, other members of the city council, state legislators that were on the scene. This has been a very difficult time for everyone in the city. And this is obviously a very, very tragic situation where a woman has lost her life. That being said, in addition to this tragedy, which unfortunately we did predict, we were seriously concerned about further escalation from the scene. And I want to thank the elected officials.
I just want to say something very quick. Like, you know, what really frustrates me about all of this is that, you know, not every immigrant, because they're an immigrant, makes them bad or makes them, you know, not wanted here. There are a lot of immigrants that come here and they do a lot of great things. Okay, they start businesses, they, you know, they build communities, they do a lot of great things here, and they work really hard. And to have you just come and label them and stereotype them just because they're an immigrant and stop them and ask them questions, that's like they used to do that here, and I think it was called carding, when police would be able to just pull you over and ask you for your ID. But now they can't do that anymore. Now they're not even allowed to card you anymore at all. But that's what that sounds like to me. It sounds like carding. And that's just, to me, completely unacceptable. Anyways, get back to you.
I want to thank the elected officials that came themselves to help us prevent that from happening, as well as the individuals on that scene that remained peaceful and that abided by law enforcement instructions so that we could preserve that scene and ensure that a full and transparent investigation can take place. That being said, I just echo the mayor's comments that we ask that the community continue to call for peace. We understand people are going to be upset about what happened, and people are going to want to exercise their First Amendment rights. But please do so safely and lawfully to ensure that we do not have any further tragedy in this city or destruction. Thank you.
There's nothing that I can say right now that's going to make having them there was only making a difficult situation opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy.
Anyway, I was trying to find that piece again, but it's all good. But you can just tell by his delivery that he's pissed. You know what I mean? And he really wants to put an end to this. He really wants to say, like, hey, guys, we need to fix this. And we need to do this as a community. We can't just, you know, I can't individually do this, or the police can't individually do it. We all, as a community, we need your help. And this is what I've been talking about the whole time with, you know, the streets and everything like that. And the most important thing that we need to do is come together. Like, my lawyer mentioned something to me he actually mentioned it to me today. I was talking to him and mentioned it to me, and he said, look, you can't control life, what life is, you know, the way it is, the system, the law, everything. It's been the same for how many years? Over 900 to 1,000 years. It's been the same. The only thing that we can really control as people is us. That's it. You know, and when we start making a change and we start controlling ourselves and doing the right thing, then we can, you know, make changes and be able to change the way things are. But for now, things are going to stay the same, and we can't really stress or have mental health issues over things that we can't control. So that was something that I learned today, and it was something not that I learned. It's something that I knew, but it was something that I was reassured. Right? In life, we always got to be reassured things. Okay. So yeah, and the mayor. Shout out to the mayor, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to the mayor of Minnesota for saying that. I think it was a big deal at that time for, and it still is a big deal at this time for the Somali community in Minnesota, and also the other communities of immigration, and even communities that are citizens and that have been there their whole life. They're all impacted by this because it's just a horrific crime and what happened. All right, and that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a crime. All right. So where I'm going to move on. There's another topic that we were talking about, and the topic that we were talking about, actually, the other topic that I want to talk about that I mentioned earlier was the Toronto police officer. And I think did we mention it on our live on Instagram, or we post? No, we didn't. I didn't post it. We didn't post it. This was something that was posted on Reddit. So if it was on Reddit, it was on Reddit. So if you've seen it on Reddit, you definitely. I'm going to read you exactly. Or is it Reddit? Man, why am I so confused? No, it's not Reddit. It's the courtesy of CB24. Or no, TPS. It's the TPS site. All right. So I got some information from the TPS site, and let me just read it here. So Toronto police officer charged. All right. And it says Toronto police officer has been arrested and charged by the Toronto Police Service. It is alleged that in multiple instances in October 2025, the accused took property that was delivered to 52 Division instead of logging it. Following an investigation, multiple items were received, including government-issued identification, bank cards, and passports. Some of these items had previously been reported stolen to the Toronto Police Service. Constable Derek McCormick. That sounds familiar. Or is that the chief? There was someone named, I think that was the chief before the chief. So Constable Derek McCormick, 56, has been arrested and charged with 4 counts of theft. So you got, I think, 3 charges. 4 counts of theft. Actually, more than that. 4 out of 7. But you got 4 counts of theft under 5,000, breach of trust, and obstruct justice. He's scheduled to appear at the Ontario Court of Justice at 10 Armory Street on Thursday, February 26, blah, blah, blah. Constable McCormick was assigned to 52 Division, has 28 years of service, and is suspended with pay as per requirements of the Community Ontario. We need to change that law. Like, how can you suspend somebody? I guess until they convict him. So I mean, I guess he still has the right to have a job and everything until they convict him. And if he's found not guilty, then they have to give him a job back, I guess, right? But isn't that fishy though? Wouldn't that be fishy for the police? I'm just saying, wouldn't that be fishy? Please, if y'all have to tell me your comments, you know what I mean? I don't know. This is what I'm trying to say. Nowadays, this is why I don't trust the police. You can't even trust them. They're doing all kinds of nonsense with people's IDs, and and then you hear all this stuff with ICE going on. It's just it's unbelievable, man. It's completely unbelievable. I don't know what to say, but with all due respect, this is why I stay out of trouble. This is why I try to not interact with them, have any interactions with them, and just do things the right way, because like I said, when I see them, it's never a positive it's never a positive feeling when I see them. It's always negative, and their job is negative. For the most part, maybe giving out gifts and visiting kids may be a positive part for them, or whatever community work that they do. But for the most part, it's a negative job. They got to go out and answer calls all day and dealing with public, and then also, they have mental health issues themselves, and I kind of feel like even with them, their mental health, and they have some, I would believe that they would have their own psychologists and certain departments that they can deal with certain things, if they do go through certain traumas. But I don't think it helps. Like, please, somebody, please, I don't think it helps because, like, for the most part, I just believe like the training that they do get is has to be. I think they need to like change the way they do their training or something. I don't know if I'm right or not, but I believe that, that's what they need to do. I believe that they need to change. They need to change their training somehow because how can like these things keep happening over and over again? And it's not like it's happening by the same police department or whatever it is. It's happening by multiple different police agencies, police departments from all across the world. And it's like, what's going on? Right? What's going on? Really? I feel lost sometimes. Right? Because I feel like we're in a world right now where we have no control of, which I mean, we never had control of the world as people. We never have control of it. But it's like getting like really out of control. You can't trust nobody. You're not safe. You're not safe in your own home. Like, you can't bear a firearm. You got to call the police. And by the time they come, you could be dead or whatever it is. Like, you can't protect yourself. And then you go to jail. Like, Canada's laws are crazy. In America, they have some laws that in some places, their self-defense laws are good. But here it's like, what do we do when we encounter things like this? Or what happens if this police officer encountered, like, he stole my stuff and I confronted him and then he tried to like shoot me and then I killed him and then next thing you know, I'm going to jail for killing a police officer the rest of my life. And I'm not even knowing the story that this guy actually robbed me. You know? Like, why else would I want to do it? Right? Not to say I would, like, God forbid. But like, if that's the case, like that could happen. There could be a possibility that could happen. Anything can happen. Anything can happen in life to anybody. We're not invincible. We're not perfect, and we're sure damn ain't God. So anything can happen to anybody, any given time. Regardless how careful you may think you are, or how solid you may think you may be, or whatever it is, something can happen. It's life. But the most part, I got the race stream on here. I haven't taken them on, man. They should be proud of me today. You know what I mean? They should be really proud of me today, race stream, right? I didn't take them off. Kept their logo on. Everything, right? I'm gonna put Therapy Hub on there right now, though. Shout out race stream. But I want to know what everybody thinks about this, and I want everybody to, tap in. If you're not tapped in right now, at least tap in when we post our live. You can watch us when we post our live, and let me know in the comments what you think about the whole ICE situation and the Toronto police officer running over the lady, and then this Toronto police officer now being charged with stealing people's passports and IDs and things like that. It's just like, there's just too much going on with the police, and this is why a lot of people don't trust the police and why they don't turn to the police. There's a Black Panther party going on, and I want to shout them out, man, because you know what? Black Panthers, people think the Black Panthers are primarily black supremacist group who just only care about black people, and that is absolutely false. Those statements are false. The Black Panther Party they have different chapters, okay? And what they do is, what they represent is culture, they represent oppression, and they not represent, they're against oppression, right? But these are the things that they stand for, I should say, all right? And so they're not just primarily for black people, they're for everybody. Everybody in the community, anybody that's being oppressed, anybody that's being, bullied by the system, and being deprived for their rights, the Black Panther Party gets involved. All right. So what the Black Panther Party is doing now is they're taking these things and they're pretty much, they're taking, they're getting information of where these incidents are happening. Okay. And then what they're doing is they're going to the cities and they're going full arm, they're going full armed, and they're confronting police officers and they're confronting ICE agents and saying, hey, look, you're not going to come here no more. You're not going to bully teenagers. You're not going to bully hardworking, innocent people who work hard for everything that they earn. And every time, and since they've been in this country, all they have been doing is working hard. Now, a lot of people may say, okay, look, well, I understand what Trump is doing. He's trying to make America great again, and he's trying to get rid of people that are not from there. But we have to understand one thing, right? Who are we to tell anybody where they're actually from? Let's start there. This is something that everybody's getting confused with. Everybody gets confused about, right? Is who are we as people to tell anybody where they come from? There's a shout out Lost and Found in the building. You already know, man. Main sponsor. You know what I mean? Top gears. He has some new exclusive drops right now. He has the alligator drop, alligator leather that matches the LA hats. He has the matching white jackets. I was about to message him, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let him do his thing with this one, but the next one I'm gonna have to get, because that looked fire. So shout you out, homie. But anyways, I just kind of as people, we just gotta understand that, we cannot. And back to the post I was saying, right? I seen a post where somebody was mentioning about, and I think it was an AI post, but it was very on point. And it was the indigenous people talking to the Mexican people. And they were saying, hey, look, you guys are not Mexican, actually. You guys are actually indigenous people from the indigenous land. Your land was separated by borders, but we're all one land. And if you look, it's actually the truth. And then they kind of look similar. You know what I mean? Not to be racist or anything like that. Just saying, they kind of do look indigenous. And this is what I'm saying. People, even black people, to say that we're from Africa, or to say that we're from Nigeria, right? We're definitely from Africa, but we can be from other parts too. We don't in Africa, but we don't know really where we're from, right? The whites can say they're from Europe. But then they can say they're from here. Nobody really knows where they're from. What really matters is where you are now and what you're trying to do to live and survive where you are. So if you're Canadian, American, whatever it is, right? Or if you're from the West Indies, or if you're from Germany, wherever you're from, you bring your culture to this country to work hard. Now, the native land of Canada and America were not of any of us anyways. It's not our land. It belongs to the indigenous. So when we start getting territorial as people and start talking about, you know, where this person is from, and where truly we're all from somewhere, and we're all here to live in a better place. I was born here, right? But I wasn't born here because my generations of people that were born here. My mother was born in England. My father was born in Barbados. My biological father was born in Barbados. My father that raised me is from Jamaica. But my blood, my biological father is from Barbados. My grandparents, my mother's parents are from Barbados, but his parents are from Panama. Then my grandma's mom is half Scottish and black. Like, what the fuck? Like, excuse me. Like, we come from all over. So to see this happening in a place that's such is a place that's supposed to be for unity, and it's a place that has been created and designed by many of the immigrants, the food that they eat, the work that you get done, the people that you hire are people of other countries, from other birthplaces. Right? So to stereotype everybody and to label everybody, to me, is extremely out of control. It's horrendous. It's just unbelievable. And yeah, you know, I just, like I said, I just hope that we can see this as people. We can recognize these things, and we can really make a stand for them, and we can really say, hey, look, guys, like, this is enough. Enough's enough. Like, we are doing it, like, way too much. We need to, like, help each other. We need to, like, slow down on whatever we're doing, and let's focus on the main problem. And the main problem right now is the system. And the way things are dealt with, and the way things are handled, and the way things are being dealt with. But first, we got to do it with us. We got to do it with us. And in order to do it with us, we have to be able to talk about these things, be aware of these things, and understand that, hey, look, it's only going to get worse. So I want to shout out to the Black Panther Party, because salute to the Black Panther Party. They did an incredible job, and they're continue doing an incredible job out there in the communities. And I just want to shout them out as well. And yeah, I just want to get out of here. I don't want to stay on too long. Not feeling too well today, to be quite honest with you. I do have a little bit of a headache. So I do want to just wrap up my show. I have some filming to do after for my documentary. That's going to be coming out really soon, at the end of February. Y'all stay tuned, stay posted for that. And we're gonna start releasing the trailers really, really soon. All right. So the Man's Cry documentary is kind of like something that, and this is why I'm interviewing myself today, because I kind of feel like I have to tell my story and kind of like explain what I've been, like, you know, what I went through, kind of thing. But not get too much in detail, but just mostly explain my story. I think that's what I have to do today on my documentary, and I'm going to do that today. And I think I'll give the viewers a little bit of an insight of where I'm from and where I've come from and that type of thing. You know what I mean? So look out for that. That's coming real soon. I keep telling you about that. And like I said before, last show, the last episode, on episode 5 on Therapy Hub, we talked about John Maxwell's Daily Reader. Please look it up online, find out how much it is, get yourself one. This book will help you. It will change your life. Every morning you get up, there's a quote or a message, not a quote, there's a message, a passage with like a full paragraph passage with like sometimes with some questions or like just an instruction of how to apply what you read. Okay, so take some time, look this book up. I'm telling you, it is a mind blower. It's a #1 seller, and it's an amazing book. All right, listen, guys, thank you for tapping in today. I just want to say shout out to my sponsors. My main sponsor, Lost and Found by Shop X. You know what I mean? Curated retro gear. You can get any type of gear you want on a custom apparel level. And you got to remember, they're limited drops. That's the most important thing. So get your orders in and make sure you tap into his website and also go on his Instagram page at Lost and Found. And you can shop right on his Instagram page and see all the amazing, caps, jackets, sweaters, even the collaborations he has with other companies is just mind blowing. All right, so shout out my homie Shaz from Shop X, Lost and Found. All right. Also, I want to say shout out to my other sponsor, Sultan Jewelers. We buy and sell gold. You know what I mean? You can come and check them out at 1408 Gerard Street East. That's 1408 Gerard Street East. That's in Little India. Once again, Sultan Jewelers. They buy and sell gold. All right. Holler at them. They'll take good care of you and let them know that I sent you. All right. Bark and Scratch Pet Foods, 2404 Danforth Avenue. Orders online, available on Skip the Dishes, or you can phone at 416-424-2411 for any pet food supplies and more. All right? Holla at your boy. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.